Our first step is to create a product. So click on New Product and type the name of the application that we are developing. We then need to enter what editions and what versions we want to be able to issue licenses for. So I'm going to create a Pro edition and do licenses for 1.star. So all 1. anything versions and upwards. Added those two and save our product. The new product immediately appears in the user interface. So I'm going to start Visual Studio, create a new project. I'm going to do this demo project using Visual Basic and just create a regular Windows form application. Demo application and create it. Okay, so now we're up and running in Visual Studio. So I'm going to drag in a button, position that so we can actually see it, and then say that give it a text, Pro feature, and a name. Let's see where is. Button Pro. Yeah, so that's our application. Place the Pro feature in the middle of our form, and our application. Create an event handler for the button, and our feature is going to be showing a message box. And we'll just say Pro feature, exclamation mark. We can run our application now, F5, and just see that everything's working the way it should. Yay! So now we have a working application. We have no licensing controls at all at the moment. So the first step I want to do is add references to the licensing components. I'm going to add them by browsing to program files. We have the Habanero folder here, Habanero License Manager, and it's the shared component and validation component we need to lift into our reference from our application. Right, so we've added references to the validation components, but our application doesn't check them at the moment. So we want to integrate the license validation with our application. In the License Manager, we have a little bit of code to get us started. So I click on the Show Code button. You can choose between C# and VB.NET, so I'm going to grab the VB code, copy it to the clipboard, and switch back into my own application. I'm going to paste the code that's been generated at the top of my form. And you can see that there are missing references. I have ReSharper, which will help me find these, but they are the types that exist in the validation library. So you need to add import statements at the top of your code for these types. What's been pasted now is a simple setup setting up an application secret, a public key for validation, and a few other boilerplate methods that we can use in the rest of our code. And I also need to change the location of our license file. which is up here in the validator section. So you can see it says path to license file. This is what we need to change. I'm going to place my licenses in my documents, demo application. So we get environment, get folder path. It's a special folder which we need to import as well. Special folder. My documents. I don't want to put it directly into my documents. I'm going to use a subdirectory. I'm going to combine two paths for my subdirectory and my documents. And my subdirectory is going to be called demo application. And I'm actually also going to put the license file in here directly. So we call it license.lic. So now we've changed the license location. We'll leave all the other values intact as they are. So now that we've modified the path to for the validator component, I'm going to use it in the form load event of this application. I'm just going to create a variable validation result and set it to the validator's check license result. And then if the validation result is invalid, then disable the button. And if it's not invalid, then I'm just going to make sure that it is enabled. So that's just a simple check when we start the program to see if our license is valid or not. We run our application now. We immediately are disabled because we haven't even entered a license yet. So we're automatically invalid. So go back to the license manager, we'll close our code window, switch to the licenses view, and on the left hand side here we create new licenses. So we select Pro Edition, version 1.star. This is for test user. I'll just issue the license. So we've got the license now in our list of existing licenses. I'll select that license and save it to file. We'll go into Documents, Demo Application. We already have the license.lic file there, which was created when the license validator ran once, and I'll just overwrite that. Okay. Now I'll run my program again, and you'll see that the Pro feature is now enabled. And that's how easy it is to install, configure, and start using the simple software licensing solution for .NET in less than about 15 minutes. Thanks for listening, and I'll speak to you soon.